Welcome back to another episode of the Football Fun Day. This is the FPL edition. It's me taking this episode solo again today. Game week 32, quick review. Didn't pan out too well again. The -4 didn't work out. The Stones red card really hurt in the end. It was like an insult to an injury. Cresswell didn't end up playing. Coming into this week, Phillips did end up playing too as a minor injury. Waiting on updates on that. We should have it soon. If I don't have the update while shooting in this episode, we'll put up the update as soon as it's available on our Twitter account. Coming into game week 33, that means there's doubts over Phillips, Stones, Son, and Kane anyway weren't starting. Doubts over Cresswell as well, waiting for what Moyes has to say. Possibly a huge mess. I've dropped ranking as well. I was around the 3,000 mark. Now I'm at 5,000 mark. Hopefully, even though there is a possibility of a -4 and a -8 coming this week right now for me because the squad is kind of in tatters. Triple captain not giving me the boost as I expected, where everyone triple captain Kane, who didn't end up playing obviously in the game versus Southampton. But hopefully there is some hope yet for everyone who had a terrible game week. Don't give up. There are plenty of options there available. Structure your transfers still. Most of the managers have used their chips. There are some who have kept the chips handy, but there is scope for you to still get into your mini league battles and win them, right? So I'll quickly share my team now, and then we'll take it from there. Right, as you can see, I told you. So Kilman obviously is has not started in I think the last 10 games. Foster Mendy was the biggest burn right there, right? Obviously, that was the biggest worry. That was the FA Cup fixtures will be played after the deadline of game week 32, and the FA Cup fixtures will be played before the Premier League fixtures. And they came to kind of bite FPL managers in the ass because Mendy didn't end up starting, Kepa did, and McCarthy started instead of Foster. Uh, don't expect both of them. So Foster obviously is not going to play in 33 as a blank, but don't expect Mendy to miss out another game. Either way, I would not waste a transfer on that because I'm quite sure quite a few managers have two or three players not playing with one City double Spurs asset or at least double Spurs asset, right? So I would save that transfer for my midfield and defense. I would not bother looking at that. I would take the hits on that or I would take my licks on that in case Mendy doesn't end up playing and you do not have a backup there. All right, now if I look at my team right now, I hope Phillips does start. We'll wait on information about that. Cresswell is again very doubtful. So as it is, as the team stands, I have just about 8 players playing. I expect Smith Rowe to start. Not expecting big returns, but I have a star player who will start. Oba is not fully fit. Lacazette's injured, so I expect Smith Rowe to start. Yeah, Nacho's in good form. He should be playing Crystal Palace. Callum Robinson was taken off, but again, looking at the way West Brom have set up against Villa, I would be surprised if he doesn't start again or doesn't play some part in it. But yeah, if I look at the team as it is, and it is a bit of a worry, right? Possibly looking at a -4 very easily. We discussed that last week as well. So how do I go about rectifying it, and what are the kind of moves that I make, or should I make this week, or should managers make this week to make sure you don't end up uh, not only lagging in your mini leagues, but potentially going without 3 or 4 players. All right, I have 1.7 in the bank, as you can see. Now, the way we look at this is I would not touch Harry Kane. The temptation was there for me to go Vardy and Iheanacho double up. You can look at the fixtures right here. They still have Palace, Southampton, Newcastle. Great fixtures. They could have a double in 35 as well, since they will be playing the FA Cup final, which will be shifted to around 36. So they would most likely blank there. That's what we're reading right now, available on Twitter. A lot of information from credible people over there. Um, so eventually, you could get or you could stick with Vardy and Iheanacho for now. If you have only one of the players, we have doubts about Jota being fit for this game. Lingard should be fit for this game. It was a cramp. It most likely should be a cramp over there. Um, as you can see, Cresswell's price has fallen down to 5.7 there. He was 5.9 2 weeks back when I brought him in on the wild card. So that's been a heavy burn for me, just lying there, not playing, and getting in the solitary point when he did, when the team kept clean sheet over there. Looking at coming back to what I was talking about, I would leave Kane in. If you have Vardy and Nacho, Kane, obviously that's great for you. You can max out Vardy and Nacho for another 3 weeks, like I showed you. Then consider moving on to DCL or Watkins, who possibly will have double fixtures coming up without blank fixtures because they have another fixture to be accommodated from when Villa had a COVID lockdown and Southampton also missed out accordingly. If I look at which players I would look at, I think Son again is a player you must have keep around. But if you have no other way to make room, I think it's high time we look at Trent Alexander-Arnold. Look, Phillips was a very cheap entry into the Liverpool defense. If you don't have Phillips, you don't have Trent. Trent Alexander-Arnold definitely the way to go. If you have Ruben Diaz in your side, if you have the likes of Cresswell, West Ham do have good fixtures. If he stays fit, nothing like it. Burnley, Everton, Brighton, West Brom, Southampton, good fixtures. If there is a doubt, though, I would still, I think, move on Cresswell and make my way towards Trent Alexander-Arnold. So what I'm going to do is here, take out Cresswell. Obviously, the 0.1 has affected me over there. That could have been the one free transfer. Ideally, in a good universe, I would have been really upset because 7.5 is what his value is and 5.8 was what Cresswell was at. But I'm not too bummed out about it because I have definitely have to make. Look, Stones, Son, and Kane were anyway not going to play, right? So that's 3 players out anyway. Then I had Kilman, who definitely doesn't start. So I was anyway down to 10 players. Cresswell made it 9, Phillips made it 8, so doubt over there. So I definitely was looking at a minimum of 2 transfers and a possible -8. I do not want to take it. I will still avoid taking it. There are a lot of permutations that I could work at, right? If I want to, if Jota is not injured and not worried about him being rotated, I will still find a way to take out Son and then get him back in for 34, maybe 35. And I would then get in Lingard. Not having Lingard has hurt me. But if you've gotten away without Lingard so far and you don't necessarily think he's going to do much against Chelsea, you want to hold on for another week. So I'll just show you guys Lingard's price for now. He's at 6. Here we go. Lingard will be at 6.6. The injury mark next to him was taken out. There you go. So Lingard would be a good move there. Will I be able to get back? Will I be able to get back Son? Yes, probably just about, right? I think if I do that, I will be able to get back Son in. I won't be able to get back Son in. Again, I'll be missing. If I want to make a straight swap out again next week, I'll be missing out on Son by 0.1 as of now. So a lot to consider for me. But yeah, if you must make room in midfield, not a good way to take out Salah if you haven't already. Definitely not to take out Bruno. Bruno has been blanking. He's definitely been hurting managers right now. Some of you are looking at the fixtures, right? Liverpool is the one coming up, but United are looking good. Then it's Villa, Leicester, Fulham, Wolves. United also have a potential double up coming up in 35. Keep an eye out for that one. Looking at Bruno's stats, right? Not done much in the last 4 or 5 game weeks. Just an assist and a goal. By his standards, that's really, really less. But this is not a way to take him out against Leeds, who are playing without Rafinha. That's been confirmed. Rafinha will not be playing. So if you have Rafinha in your side, along with 2 Spurs assets, you're looking at possibly a -4 to get a playing 11 out, unless you're okay risking it with a 10 player squad, which I have done very often this season and gotten away with it, looking at the way the fixtures have panned out, right? Coming back to this, getting a playing squad in. Son seems to be the only player you can move if you want to get in Trent. And I think, again, look, I have to show you Liverpool's fixtures, right? Trent Alexander-Arnold, Newcastle, United, yes, but then Southampton, West Brom, Burnley, it's really good end of run fixture. They have nothing else to distract them from. Obviously, for me, if I do end up keeping Jota in and not taking Lingard in over there, I have to take out Phillips for sure. Was hoping will be fit and I wouldn't have to make this move. So what I'll do is I'll wait for the news on Phillips. If Phillips is fit, I think most likely I'll keep him and go without Trent one more week because I already have 3 Liverpool players as it is. So I can't get in Trent for that. If I feel that I want to take the risk, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out Jota. Leave Son as it is. I'm going to go into West Ham and I'm going to get in Lingard. Now, this is to kind of this will be a safe move to keep rank with all the players who already got it. I think in the top 10K, easily about 80% of the managers already have Lingard, so he has been hurting me. I could have got away with it last week very well. Lucky penalty. Noble went off the field 3 minutes before that. Who would not normally take that penalty? Penalty was dubious at best, but hey, you know what? Sometimes you need that luck for the managers who kept Lingard and had faith in him from early on. Good job. Kudos to you guys. Definitely no jealousy there. You stuck by him, so good job there. Let's say I don't look at Lingard, right? What are my other options at this price point? Now, assuming Phillips is fit, I do not make that move. I would definitely want to then look at the Wolves defense. Wolves have Cody at 4.9, Says has gone up to 5. Either one of those players, two clean sheets back to back. Burnley again looks like a KG game. West Brom after that, Brighton. They look good till 35. Now in 36, if there is a blank for the FA Cup teams, plays Tottenham. Not very convinced there. So I have to think of the possible minus. If you take -8, guys, try to make sure that the players you're getting in will have a decent fixture at least in 35, 36, when there could be a double and blank following that. You don't want to take another minus then. You kind of nullify any gains you will make in the coming 2 weeks, and you probably end up at net 0 point move there at like a complete loss. Right. So I've taken in shares over there for Crystal, which is obviously helped me save up on money. At 9.3, then I have the option of doubling up on Leicester. So if you don't want to go in for Vardy, you don't have Vardy and you can't make move for him apart from taking Kane out, which I don't recommend even doing it for a week. You can look at Madison now. Madison is fit. He's starting 7.2. Can definitely fit into your squad. You then would have a team like this with a -4 where you have Iheanacho, for me, Robinson, Smith Rowe, Salah, Fernandez, Madison, Phillips hopefully fit, Says, Rudiger, and Mendy. Now, obviously, again, I have the problem of, like I said, one more defender not playing because of Kilman, Stones, Son, and Kane, which is why I spoke about the fact that I most likely might have to take a -8 for a fully playing squad. I might just go without it and just keep to a -4. -8, eventually I need to have a really good move. A good differential, if at all, to work it out, right? What are possible differentials that could happen over here? You have Mason Greenwood, obviously. I will find him. I really, really wish Mason Greenwood is still a forward this season. Would have really, really worked out in this case. People are looking beyond the likes of Watkins and Bamford. Who else to go for with Antonio injured and the other strikers not delivering, right? Yeah. I'm going to get you Greenwood's stats. So Greenwood's had a very good last couple of weeks. Double-digit haul in the last 2 game weeks and a goal against Brighton as well. No reason for him to be dropped. Rashford is fit. Could play on the right again. Cavani could play up top. But I do think that the team plays better with Greenwood in him. So I think he would most likely go Greenwood right. Might even end up resting Rashford again. Play Pogba on the left. So there is scope for Greenwood to start. Even if he doesn't start, he will most likely come on. Leeds is a tough game. We do expect goals. Even though United blew past them in the first leg, I do expect Bielsa to learn a few lessons from that. I would hold on to my Leeds. That's though. Do not take out Dallas or Bamford. Rafinha, yes, because there are other players who could consider at that price point. But I would hold on to Bamford right now. So Greenwood could be the other player looking at. Current ownership is below 5% still, so would be a differential for y'all. So that's possible moves of Madison, Greenwood instead of Jota if Jota's injured. You could also then have a look at the likes of, like I showed you guys, getting in Lingard if you don't have him for Jota. Or you could make a similar moves for, if you have Lingard and if you have Son and you want a playing team, you could make a similar moves for Son and find a way to get Son back into a team after 34, 35. Just pulling up the fixtures again. 34, they play Sheffield, right? So that would be a risky move if you have a point loss or a 0.1 gain. Like I showed you guys, I would be missing out on Son as of now if I made him a bare minimum change. So keep an eye out on that one because Sheffield and Leeds, good games. Sheffield could be a good game defensively as well. But again, very good games, both those to get in attacking returns. Keep an eye out on that one. So essentially, this is what I'm looking at, right? I'm looking at getting in Wolves to fix my immediate issues, looking at getting in the likes of Greenwood or Madison or Lingard in midfield. if you have a pretty much 10-player squad with a goalkeeper playing, including a goalkeeper, and you want to make one move shit and your money in the bank, if you already have Trent somehow, then well, that's firstly kudos to you if you already have that. Then you could consider punting out Kane to Vardy for a week and holding on to Vardy because the fixtures are good, like I said, even the week after that. But it would be a risk because once Kane comes back, assuming he is fit after the cup final, like I said, it's Sheffield and Leeds. Big games, 46% ownership will go up by then if his fitness is up. So it's a big risk there. So you have to definitely nullify that one out. All right. What if I don't want to look at these players? Wolves obviously have good fixtures. Which are the other players or which are the other teams I should be looking at, right? Like I showed you guys, Madison. So Leicester have a good run of fixtures. You could consider getting in a Leicester defender because, like I said, Leicester will also have a double in 35 the way it looks. Evans at 5.5, you could get that in for Cresswell. If you're staying away from, you don't want to look at Trent again and you want to look at other players instead. You have Castagna at 5.7, same point as Cresswell, attacking returns this week. Palace, Southampton, Newcastle again, like a good 3-player run with a double coming in 35 most likely. You also have possibly the likes of getting in Soyuncu over there. So there are options to maybe double up over there. Madison, someone already showed you at 7.2. Apart from that, I wouldn't risk too much going into Tielemans and differentially. There are other players you can look at, right? Let's look at Everton now. All right. We're going to get Jota back in for a quick second there. Now, if I leave my team as it is and Jota hopefully starts as well, I could possibly look at my team, leave it as it is. Will I be happy with this? I'll have Rudiger, Says, Phillips. I'll be starting with 10 players. Maybe I would risk that. But, I could just keep money in the bank and possibly risk getting in Calvert-Lewin. Arsenal are defensively a little shook, missing experienced strikers. There's no experience in that squad. David Lewis most likely missing out as well. Calvert-Lewin is fit. Arsenal, Villa, West Ham, Sheffield. Everton most likely getting a double fixture as well. And they have a fixture against Aston Villa to be rescheduled too. So might be a good time to get in DCL or Richarlison, but I still think that once DCL comes into the squad and Richarlison drops wide left, they're both players playing in the best position. So I would stick to that and not, I would go in for DCL first. You could also consider getting in the likes of James Rodriguez in the midfield. He's obviously more expensive than the other differential players that you might go for. When you're looking to target different fixtures and you have Lingard already, Jota's injured, you don't want to go in for Jota. Again, Rodriguez 7.7 is someone you could consider. Defensively, yes, Digne is still the best to go for because he guarantees you attacking returns. Taking you to his last couple of games, though, not done too well. They've not kept a clean sheet apart from the game against Brighton. Bit of a worry there, but with most of the players coming back in fit, this is expected to change, right? And if you're worried about the price point, obviously Keane at 5.1 is a good fit over there as well. So Everton is another team to consider looking at the fixtures. And I'll round that up with Leeds. Now, look, I took out Leeds players in my wildcard. A lot of players bench Leeds players against City, looking at the tough fixture run that they had, right? But that was up until game week 33. Game week 34 onwards, they go back towards Brighton. Spurs being the tough one there, but you could see a goal or two. Burnley, Southampton, West Brom. So I would definitely take out Rafinha if you have 5 players not playing and find a way to get him back in. But if you have a fully playing squad and you can make a move somewhere else, you can keep Rafinha in your squad. I would take him out though. Look, my gut would tell me to take him out, but I'm just giving you all the options there. Keep hold of Dallas now, keep hold of Bamford now because their fixtures are turning. If you have no playing striker, right? If you are a very budget striker like Brewster, you are worried about Sheffield not really playing, not doing anything, money in the bank, you could go up to Bamford right now, make that transfer this week. Maybe they get in a goal against United, who have a tendency to concede those shabby goals, right? Bamford could be a good player to get in now. He has good fixtures coming in, right? So definitely want to kind of bring in advance. One to look at for sure. Dallas has gone up to 5.2, but again, I wouldn't cheap out going to the likes of Alioski and Ayling. You can see the difference in the returns right there. Dallas is at 142 points. Closest is Alioski at 81. So there's no comparison there. I think that 0.5, definitely is worth it if you're looking at getting in those attacking returns in and out every couple of game weeks, right? But yeah, essentially, this is what you're looking at. Everton and Leeds are players to consider. Leicester have still a good run of fixtures, like I said, to remind you guys, still game week 35 before it turns to United in 36, which might be moved to 35, and Chelsea, Tottenham right after that. West Brom had good run of fixtures, which is ending soon. I think Wolves will be a tough one for them as well. Villa, there is some hope, but Wolves will be a tough one as well. After that, it's Arsenal, Liverpool, West Ham, Leeds. Not much hope for your. If you were Pereira punting, I think it's time to take him out. Move on to a Souček if you don't have money in the bank. Rafinha next week onwards, if you can wait for a week and have priorities to fix elsewhere, right? If you are looking, if you have a cutthroat team, right, you just have a player. If you move, you don't have a Spurs player to worry about, just Kane, and you have looking at City players, and if you take them out, you have a fully playing squad. I would just take out Stones for a Wolves player, or I would take out Stones for Brighton defender. Brighton have been defensively doing very, very well. They are tough fixture and has moved on to. They played United, Chelsea, and Everton in the last 3 games, which was a tough run for them. They still kept a clean sheet in that the last two, so that worked out. Dunk at 4.9 will come into the Stones price bracket easily. Weltman at 4.4. The attacking returns also. Those are the two players to look at. Definitely consider those players. Good alternative options. All right, now moving on to the captain picks, right? Definitely Salah or Jota if you have them, or Mane if you don't have Salah. Liverpool plays against Newcastle ideally should be the best bet this field. I would not look past them in terms of captaincy at Newcastle. There for the taking. Liverpool have rotated the players. Salah's rested, so it should be easier for them. Especially they'll be looking to get the results now that all the Super League madness is behind them. If you're looking beyond Liverpool assets, you should look at obviously Vardy and Iheanacho playing Crystal Palace. They could easily have had 6 or 7 goals against West Brom, and that's not even exaggerating. Better finishing there, could have seen them almost get another 9 goal game there. Yeah, you could look at them. People are asking about Bruno Leeds. Look, Bruno's the kind of players like you. If you have kept faith in Salah, and then Salah eventually paid off, Bruno's a similar kind of player. Leeds are there for the taking. You see United attacking well, and the kind of goals they're scoring now, they seem to be getting the mojo back. But the safe option is still Salah. Differential option-wise to get in over your managers is still Leicester assets. Then I would say Bruno is a better choice. But that's just my opinion. You can go on either fix that you want to. While we've been doing this episode, it has been confirmed that Phillips is not going to make this game. So that makes things very, very interesting for me. I might have to look at moving out Stones right now and balancing out my squad there and going again without Lingard one more week. But you know what? I'm going to leave it to the last minute and throw surprises in for everybody. Hopefully, I don't end up surprising myself. That's what I could say. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. These are the moves I will most likely be making. The ones I showed you guys, keeping in mind a possible double in 35, blank in 36. These moves obviously again are dependent on the press conferences to come out, and we'll be updating you about those press conferences on our Twitter as soon as possible. This episode should be out about 6:45 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So about 4 hours before the deadline, so enough of time for you guys to take everything in and make those moves for your squad. As always, please subscribe to our channel if you're watching. Leave a like on this video. We could really, really use the subscriptions. We've had a slow growth right now, and we really, really could use the love. Any other questions you may have, hit us up on Twitter as always. Best of luck for this week. I've been saying it the last 2 weeks, not been going well. I really hope this week works out for everyone. Cheers. Apart from the people who are chasing me in my Millie League, stay as far as away from me as possible. See you guys.